Tamworth has to be today's favourite. It is Reynard Mugen. Mark Goossens here, the young Belgian, was expected to lead the way in Formula 3, driving for the legendary West Surrey racing team. But he's well behind Burt in the points. It's Oliver Gavin's first season in Formula 3, driving the exciting Vauxhall-powered Italian Dallara, whilst Brazilian André Ribeiro races the popular Reynard Mugen. It's Burt's second successive pole position, with Goossens' Reynard on the front row, ahead of Gavin and Ribeiro. Row 3, Spaniard Pedro de la Rosa and Brazilian Ricardo Rossi, followed by Paul Evans and Jeremy Dufour. Then it's Gareth Rees, Warren Hughes in another of the quick Dallaras, Christian Horner and Jamie Spence. The 1.2-mile Brands Hatch Indy circuit always has close racing, so stand by for action. We're with Oliver Gavin, and that's the favourite, Kelvin Burt ahead. 30 laps to go. They're all away well. Burt leads, and getting into Paddock Hill Bend first is very important, and he's done it. Burt, Goossens, Gavin is the order. We're with Gavin now. Fifth gear, 120 miles an hour up to Druids Hill Bend. Burt, Goossens, Gavin is third. André Ribeiro in the black and white car is fourth. We're with Steve Arnold now down to Graham Hill Bend at 120 miles an hour. That's Christian Horner diving and ducking ahead of us into the Cooper Straight. Then Surtees, the left-hander. And at Surtees, number 50 is Christian Horner. Now Clearways. In car with Steve Arnold. Fourth gear, 90 miles an hour. Out of Clearways. And there's somebody coming up alongside us. It's Chris Clark's Ralt. The red car is Chris Clark's Ralt. And he's ahead as they go through to the end of the lap. Into Paddock Bend. Clark, we're with Steve Arnold. Abel Gonzalez from Mexico is going through, and he's done it. In car with Arnold, and this is just the battle for 13th place. Gonzalez ahead. He's driving the car that Rubens Barrichello used to win the 1991 championship. Down to Graham Hill Bend. Then on to Surtees, and we're with Oliver Gavin. There he is, number 5 in the yellow Dallara. Out of Clearways. It's got Vauxhall power. It's a car to watch. The Italian constructor is dominating the French and the Italian championships. Oliver Gavin's best Formula 3 finish so far. Second to Kelvin Burt at Donington in only his 4th Formula 3 race. And now we're with Steve Arnold. That's Gonzalez ahead in the blue car. Watts and De Castro are right behind. There's De Castro, number 12, up to Druids. Arnold passes Gonzalez. De Castro runs wide. Watts attacks him, number 45, and goes through. Down to Graham Hill Bend. Gonzalez in the blue car. Then it's De Castro. Behind him is Watts. Brian Cunningham is just behind the 3 of them. Out to Clearways. A sweeping right-hander. There's Cunningham. Out of Clearways into Clark Curve. This is the right-hander which leads through to the Brabham Straight and the end of the lap, which they are approaching now. Gonzalez from Brazil in the Ralt versus De Castro from Spain in the Reynard, into the right-hander at Paddock Bend. Absolutely together. De Castro tucked up behind Gonzalez rear wing as they climb up towards Druids. Behind them, number 48 is Derek Watts. And behind Derek Watts is Brian Cunningham. Now up to Surtees again, and De Castro is attacking. He's going to try and take Gonzalez here. Looks to me as he's on the right line. He's nipped through on the inside, and there are 4 more right with them. That's Derek Watts. Tremendously close racing in the midfield. The leader, of course, is still Kelvin Burt, ahead of Mark Goossens and Oliver Gavin. De Castro is putting away here. Gonzalez, Watts, Brian Cunningham, and Cunningham in the white car is attacking. He dives through inside Watts, and he's past him. Druids all together. Groenvelt, number 21, passes Watts. You've got to get your line absolutely right here. Graham Hill Bend again. And out of Surtees, it's Rossi and Paul Evans. That's Evans, number 2, 7th place behind them. Gareth Rees and Warren Hughes. And Hughes is attacking. But this is Rossi and Evans into Paddock. Warren Hughes is attacking. Number 15, he goes through on the inside, takes Gareth Rees up to 8th place. The white and red car is the Dallara with the Fiat engine, and it is going well. Surtees, Paul Evans. And now Warren Hughes is setting about Paul Evans, and he's closing the gap. End of the lap, Bert leads. He's in the Paul Stewart Racing Reynard. Goosen second in the West Surrey Racing Reynard. Oliver Gavin third in the Edenbridge Dallara. Andre Ribeiro is fourth in the Fortec Reynard. And it's out of Druids again with Gavin, ex-Formula First champion, the Autosport Driver of the Year of 1992. GM Lotus top man last year, and Goosens and Burt are ahead of him. Kelvin Burt is in command, but number 3, Mark Goosens, is pushing. So is Oliver Gavin, up to 5th gear, 135 miles an hour. He's got to hug the pit lane wall as he exits paddock. He does so, and Mark Goosens has broken the lap record, 102.40 miles an hour, closing up on Kelvin Burt. Gilles de Ferret had the lap record before, and that's how quickly they're all going, including Oliver Gavin that we're with now because he's holding on to the leaders. And there's contact. That's Rosset and Evans. Paul Evans with his left front wing tipped right up, and behind him is Warren Hughes. He's surely going to take the place, and he does so. Hughes goes through to 7th place at Surtees. And now Paul Evans will be losing downforce with that front wing tipped up. Goes through, so Paul Evans is losing places all the time, and Jeremy Dufour is right behind him as the leaders come through, and Goosens is really pressing Burt now. Goosens number 3, the winner of the Formula Ford Festival in 1991, 6th in the British Championship last year. Just behind them, the man we're with, Oliver Gavin. Great drive against more experienced men in front of him. And the Dallara Vauxhall is hanging on superbly. One missed gear by any of the top 3 and the places will change. Out of Surtees, Evans, number 2, has been caught by De Castro now, and he's 15th. Evans is in trouble. Indeed he is. He's going into the pits. It's disappointing, but at 20 years old, he's still got plenty of time. Druids, the leaders, Burt, Goosens, Gavin together. Ribeiro and De La Rosa are right behind them. Oliver Gavin, we're with. He's learning a lot. Surtees, Airways, Burt, Goosens, Gavin. It's very difficult to pull away in these closely matched 160 horsepower Formula 3 cars. And at Druids, there's 5 of them together. Gonzalez cutting us roundabout, and Watson and Watts make contact. There's Watts touring off. Watson is backing up. He's going to try and rejoin the race, and there's nothing in it at the front. These are the top 3. Gavin coming up to Druids. They turn in, and my goodness, there's Watson's car. Watson's Reynard, and Stevens still in it. They've all missed him. Out of Druids into Graham Hill Bend. Watts touring in, number 48. He's obviously retiring. There's Watson. He's had enough too. And here's a replay. Look at number 48, Derek Watts. He turns in for the right-hander. Watson turns across him. He probably didn't spot him. They collide anyway. Watts pulls away. Watson is facing the wrong way. He's out of the car now, jumping to safety over the tar wall. And there are 16 laps still to go. It's anybody's guess for a victory between Burt, Goosens and Gavin that we're with now. Into paddock and out of it. Up to Druids. Goosens immediately ahead. Burt just in front of him. That's how close it is. First, second and third. And there's no quarter still between Ricardo Rosset and Warren Hughes. Number 7 and 15. There's Warren. Closing up on Rosset in front of him as the leaders go through Surtees and Clearways again into a rhythm. They're closing up on a tail ender. This could make things difficult for Burt. Back with Gavin. And the car that they're closing up on is John Wilcox Reynard. Burt tucks into its slipstream. Pulls out. Mark Goosens Goossens goes straight through. Oliver Gavin is still behind Wilcock. He's going to have to take in the paddock. He's running wide onto the runoff area, and he didn't even lift. He kept his foot hard in, up to Druys again. Now, Goossens just can't close on Burt. He's in the buffeting from Burt's slipstream. He loses downforce the closer he gets to the rear wing of the Reynard in front. And he gives Gavin the opportunity to close up on Goossens, which he's now doing. But Goossens is getting closer and closer to the Reynard in front of him. They're into the Brabham Straight now, building up to 135 miles an hour. And Goossens is in an ideal position to pass Burt as they come up to Paddock Bend. But my goodness, that's the pace car. The pace car is out. That's a Honda Prelude, and it's surely got to be out because of Watson's car on the track. Now, this is what happens. They've passed the pace car, they being Burt, Goossens and Gavin that we're with. But when they see it ahead of them, they have to form up behind it, hold station, and wait until it turns into the pit lane when the obstruction has been removed. It'll take them some time to do that though, and meantime they are still racing. Coming through to complete another lap. You can see the Reynard, number 1, Kelvin Burt leads. Number 3, Mark Goossens in the red and white car in second. This is Oliver Gavin in third position. And of course, as far as they're concerned, the race is well and truly on. And for Ribeiro, number 9, he has closed right up. So it's first, second, third and fourth together. And that's Watson's car being removed by the marshals. They'll remove the obstruction, then the pace car will come in. Here are the first 4. Are they going to catch the pace car before it comes in? That's the question. And what a fantastic finish to this race it's going to be, because there's still some way to go when the pace car pulls in. Yellow flag, yellow flag. Up goes Goossens' arm. Gavin's already put his arm up. That means they're slowing down. There's the pace car with the flashing light in front of them. So they'll just have to stay where they are, tour along behind it. Burt weaving to keep his tyres warm, and you can see they're all closing up now. That's Paul Evans' car. What's happened?
We've got a good tow from Rosso coming down the straight here. And he ran a bit wide down at paddock. I got down the inside of him. We're going up to Druid's hairpin side by side. And he just come across my nose, shot my nose off, bent the whole front wing. The race over.
Hard luck for Evans, but the pace car is still out with Kelvin Burt following it, Goossens behind him, Gavin behind him, Ribeiro in fourth place, and the race is on! The race is on, the pace car has turned in, and there are 10 laps still to go. Gavin attacks Goossens, Goossens is right behind Kelvin Burt, Ribeiro is right behind Gavin, and the first 4 are together. With 10 laps to go, I'm looking forward to this. Graham Hillman. And Burt and Goossens are easing away a little from Oliver Gavin in the yellow Dallara in third position. Mark curve again. Now, up to the end of the lap. Is Goossens going to attack again as he did before? You remember the pace car came out and foiled him then. Into the right-hander of Paddock, it's Burt. Goossens is attacking right up alongside Burt, but Burt will have nothing of it. He closes the door and holds the lead, and Gavin comes right up alongside Goossens. Now it's a battle for second position, but Goossens has got the inside line, and Ribeiro has a go at Gavin. Marvellous stuff. And behind Ribeiro is De La Rosa, the Spaniard, in the mainly red car. Look at him, weaving. He's having a real go at the Brazilian, number 9, Andre Ribeiro. 5 cars together now. End of the lap. Burt, Goossens, Gavin third position, Andre Ribeiro in the black and white car is fourth. Then in the red and blue car, De La Rosa. And De La Rosa is really hammering on. Ribeiro moves across a bit. And they touch wheels, And De La Rosa has gone through. Ribeiro had to go wide. De La Rosa has moved up into fourth position. So it's Burt, Goossens, Gavin, De La Rosa and Ribeiro, the top 5. 160 horsepower, 2-litre cars. which is virtually identical. It's all down to the drivers, and De La Rosa has just pushed through up into 4th position as Burt crosses the line in the lead. 4 laps to go now. Paddock Bend. Ribeiro is trying to get back that 4th position. He's number 9. And somebody off. And Clark Kerr. No, there's 2 people off at Clark Kerr. 36 is Brian Cunning, and the other one is Gonzalez. So they must have made contact, and at Graham Hill Bend, De La Rosa on the right is pulling away. He's closing up on Oliver Gavin, who is in 3rd position. Up behind them have become Rosset and Hughes, and the leaders are approaching the Gonzalez car. That's it. My goodness, they've only just missed it. Now there's real danger on the track, and they're going to bring the pace car out again. They'll have to do something, because I don't think they're going to be able to remove that car before the leaders come round again. Now there's Steve Arnold and Chris Clark. Chris Clark on the left, Steve Arnold on the right, and Clark has got the inside line at Paddock. He holds it. Arnold goes wide, and Chris Clark has still... No, he hasn't got the inside line. Well, he has, but Arnold actually drives round the outside of him, and now he has got the inside line at Graham Hill Bend, and we're with him. Behind him is Chris Clark, and the red flag is out. Oh, well, I suppose this was inevitable. That means they are stopping the race. We're with Arnold. That's Gonzalez's car that he just missed, and that's the reason they're stopping the race. Brian Cunningham on the left, Abel Gonzalez with his helmet. And the race is over as the cars go into the pit lane. So, with another commanding drive, Kelvin Burt gives Paul Stewart Racing their 4th win from 5 races. Mark Goosen 2nd, and a great drive by Oliver Gavin to 3rd.
Plenty going on. Quite difficult to keep your head, keep you cool with Mark all over me. I think, on balance, he probably had a better setup for the race, and he was quicker. Definitely into clearways, he was catching me. I had a big oversteer problem. But I was, for my part, just keeping calm in the slow corners and getting a good exit so that he wasn't in my slipstream on the straights.
Kelvin Burt now has double the championship points of Goosen's. The last British champion was Johnny Herbert in 1987. There are still 10 rounds to go, but Burt already looks as though